Hey guys, so about a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago at this point, I did an all about my eyeshadow palettes video, which was a tag created by Samantha March and Allie Glines here on YouTube. And that video has been going around and going around, and it's been one of my favorite videos to watch. And Jessica Braun, who is another one of my favorite YouTubers here, she did a version of this tag, but she did it for her lipsticks. And I thought that was just so much fun, and I think she's going to try and turn it into a series and kind of talk about her entire collection like this tag. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. This is going to be an all about my lip stuff. So it's like lipsticks, lip glosses, sheer lipsticks, all of my lipsticks, my entire lipstick collection. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And today happens to be National Lipstick Day, so I thought this would be appropriate. But I'm really excited for this video because this is in collaboration with my very, very good friend here, Linda. Her channel is Glitter Fallout, and she has a cruelty-free channel. She is really intelligent, and I mean that in the deepest way. Like, she's just very, very well spoken, and she's very thoughtful about everything that she says about products. I really enjoy like her BoxyCharm unboxings. I think those are some of my favorites because she'll talk about like products from the past box, her experience, and then she'll go through the current box, and she has her husband go through the box and kind of prep her for like what's in there so she knows like how to appear on camera. She's just very well thought out in every single way. She's hysterical. She does these like really warm, vibrant eyeshadow looks that are just to die for. I mean, they match her like fiery hair. She's just amazing. And I had the pleasure of actually meeting her in person when I was in New York. This was a couple of years ago, and she was there for like the Ipsy event. I can't keep track of what they call it because they've changed the name a couple times. Anyway, it's the Ipsy event that used to happen in October in New York, and she was there, I was there for something else, and we got to meet up, and it was so much fun. She's just down to earth. She's an East Coast gal like myself, and we have been talking like just back and forth on Marco Polo, and we've been wanting to do a collab for, I think since the beginning of the year. We've been talking about it, and finally this came up. I saw Jessica's video, it was kind of in the back of my mind. Linda reached out to me again and was like, hey, what about that collab? And then National Lipstick Day was coming up, and I was like, this is what we need to do. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and definitely check out Linda's video. I'll link it down below in my description box. And if you're here from Linda's channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you stopped by. So we're going to start. This is actually a pretty long list. I have my really large notebook here because I had to really sit down in front of my lipstick collection and like take notes, because there's some really hard like questions in here, like what's your oldest lipstick? And I'm like, what's my oldest lipstick? Because I do, well, it's time. It's definitely time for another declutter, but I do declutters fairly often with my lipsticks because, you know, they're lipsticks. They get kind of gross. So anyway, there were some challenging questions in here. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one is your newest lipstick. And my newest would have to be this Jen Loves Reviews and Ofra collaboration. So I received these in PR, and I just received these in PR, and I just played with them in like my latest trying new makeup video that I think went up last Saturday. Anyway, this is my newest. And what's funny is when I met Linda in New York when she was there for Ipsy, she was actually there with Jen Loves Reviews. So the three of us had a breakfast together. So very appropriate that these are my newest lipsticks. And this color, oh my God, come fall, you're gonna get really sick of this color because I'm going to have it on a lot. So these are my newest. And then the lipstick that's the oldest in my collection, I think there were a few contenders, and I was trying to go back in like my Instagram feed and like I used to have a blog. Well, I have a blog. I try to post to it. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. I tried to go back in my blog and like see what I had blogged first. So I think this is my oldest, and this is a Tom Ford lip color in Casino. And it was actually when I was still living in New York and I was actually visiting Las Vegas. I went to the Tom Ford boutique at Crystal's and purchased Casino. I thought that was really appropriate, and I really liked the color. It's just this really cool, deep, dark color with this like gold metallic sheen to it. I feel like this color is discontinued, and Tom Ford lipsticks are known to go bad, but this one is still good. It's so weird. It still smells like vanilla. It's still totally fine. So that is Casino. Do you see that sheen? Oh my God, it's such a pretty color, and it's like this deep, deep, like mulberry, slightly mauve, but slightly red color. I love it. I can't believe this lipstick is still good. It blows my mind because like I said, a lot of his lipsticks go bad very quickly. So that is the oldest lipstick in my collection. For the most expensive lipstick in my collection, this lipstick itself, just the lipstick, is actually not that expensive, but it's this case. So we're talking about lipstick cases, and this lipstick case is the most expensive one I have. This is the House of Sillage Whispers of Truth. Whispers of Truth, I believe. I will link it down below in my description box, but it has all of these crystals everywhere and multicolored crystals like in the flowers. And then all the white that you see is enameling, and there's more crystals up and down this bow tie case. It's just, and it's all over. And then this is the lipstick that I happen to have in there. It's gorgeous. So that is my most expensive lipstick situation. I know it's hard because it really is the lipstick case, but I was thinking about all of these expensive lipsticks I have, and most of them are because of the case, like the Bond number 9 ones. You know, they have that really fancy case. The Louboutin lipsticks, those have a really fancy case. So I thought, you know what? This is it. This is the most expensive lipstick I have in my collection. And now, of course, the least expensive lip product, because this is not a lipstick, this is a lip gloss. The least expensive product I have in my collection is the Tower 28 lip glosses. And this happens to be one of my favorite products as well. So I have 3 of these lip glosses, but they're $14 each, I believe. And I used to have like a Milani lipstick, which I know is less expensive than $14, but I decluttered that, it went bad. I also had some like Flower Beauty lipsticks. So anyway, I had decluttered anything that was less expensive than this. I was digging around for them and I was like, oh, I must have decluttered them. So anyway, this is the least expensive I have in my collection. All right, so the next topic is everyday. So what is my like everyday lipstick? And I'm sorry guys, I don't know if this is cheating, but I just don't have an answer for you. I just don't have an everyday lipstick. I really try to like change up my lip products every single day. I find it very easy to change up my lip products. Sometimes with like eyeshadows, I'll like kind of fall into a rut, or foundations, I'll just be like, oh, this worked, and I'll throw it on. But when it comes to lipsticks, I really like, you know, changing it up. So there's a bunch of nudes that I like. You guys know I really love that bright kind of like coral red color. There's a ton of glosses that I use just on rotation. Again, it really just kind of depends on my mood. So I really don't have like a lipstick that I reach for every day. That's kind of like my default. I have way too many defaults. I feel like my entire collection is really defaults. My entire collection is really comprised of like everyday kind of lipsticks. So I'm gonna pass on that, but anything that I thought of that could fit into this category, I talk about in another sort of category here. So they are coming up. They will appear like the one that I'm actually wearing. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. Next is my most colorful lipstick. I actually had to pull out 4 because, well, you'll see, they're all very, very, very close and like kind of related. So the first 2 I pulled out are from Lisa Eldridge. So this one is Rainbow Spill, and this one is Go Lightly. And let me swatch these so you can see like how Technicolor these are. So here's Rainbow Spill, and here is Go Lightly. They glow, and they glow in this way that I feel like the camera can't even pick it up, but they are so bright. They're so beautiful. I love, love, love these lipsticks from Lisa Eldridge. These came out like last spring, but more recently, Hermes came out with lipsticks, and they came out with some limited edition colors that I think are very, very close. So here is number 51. I think it's Corail Foo. Here is that color, and then here is, I actually can't read the sticker down here because it's black on this dark purple, but it's number 27. So here's 51, and here is 27. So I remember when these Hermes came out, people were like, oh, they're such a dupe for Lisa Eldridge, but you know, they're different. I think they're all in the same family for sure, but the Lisa Eldridge, at least the Rainbow Spill, is much more pink than these 2. And then this formula happens to be a little bit more sheer and a little bit more moisturizing. And then these 2 from Hermes I find to be a lot more red based. So again, very close, kind of very similar, same idea, really, really bright, very, very, very colorful and very, very bright, but all slightly different. So those are my most colorful lipsticks in my collection for sure. So lip product that has the best memory. And this was really, really tough. I was kind of going through all of my lipsticks and thinking about like when I wore them or when I got them. And the one that really stood out to me is this Surratt lip slick in the color Heaven. And when I was first starting out on YouTube, I still am, but I was a very, very big fan of Surratt Beauty. So I did a whole, face of Surratt, and I actually need to do that again. And Troy Surratt actually reached out to me and he sent me like this little PR package, which at that point, I think maybe I had received like one other PR package, and I was like, I couldn't catch my breath. I was so, so excited. I had like tears in my eyes. I was like beside myself with happiness. So this was one of the products that was included. And I remember I couldn't quite figure out the name of this because it's spelled Hevyn. And one of my viewers actually said it's Heaven, and it's sort of a nod to Kevin Aquan, who was Troy Surratt's like mentor. And I was so touched. I was so moved. I just thought that was just so cool. So this definitely has the best memory for me. And on top of it, I love the lip slick formula. It's one of those like super moisturizing, slick, glossy kind of lip products with, I don't want to say it's sheer, there's enough pigmentation, but it's not like hyper pigmented, and I love it. I mean, they're just really easy to wear, and this color is so perfect. So that is Surratt's Lip Slick in Heaven. All right, next is lip product worth the hype. And I have to say, it's these Fenty Gloss Bombs. When this first came out, I think this one was the first one. Yeah, Fenty Glow. This was the first one that came out. There was only one shade, which I thought was kind of peculiar, but I was like, okay, whatever. I really like the shade. And I mean, myself, along with I think everyone else on YouTube, just fell in love with this lip gloss. It just looks great on its own. It looks great over lipstick. It looks great on a multitude of skin tones. It has this like very kind of like retro sweet scent to it. And I just fell in love with it and have purchased many since then. This one is probably one of my most worn lip glosses. This is in Hot Chocolate. And so it's just this cooler kind of like brown tone. They're glosses, so they're not that pigmented, but I also have Fussy, which is a little bit more pink. And then this one came in like a little set, and this one is Sweet Mouth, which I also love. I mean, I love them all, and the hype is real. I'm just, yes, these are great. So lip product not worth the hype. I'm not sure if this got a lot of hype. I'm going to assume so because it's a Tom Ford lip product, and most Tom Ford products get a lot of hype. So it's like their satin matte lipstick, and it comes in the slightly like skinnier, taller tube. And it's one of the more recent lip product releases. It's not awful, but it's very silicone feeling. So it has a matte finish. And they talk about how it's so moisturizing, it feels so great on the lips, and it does when you first apply it. But because it's so like silicone-y, it kind of like dries down, and then as the day goes on, my lips feel drier and drier and drier, and they look drier and drier and drier, and I think I had a couple colors that I decluttered. I thought for sure like, oh, well, maybe my lips were dry that day and I would, exfoliate and moisturize and do all those things. But it was something about the formula that as it dried down, it just felt like it was sucking the life out of my lips. And, I'm a huge Tom Ford fan and Tom Ford lip product fan. So it definitely is not one of my favorites, not even close. And it just wasn't worth the hype in my book. So favorite lip product from your favorite brand. So I just talked about this because I just did a full face of Chantecaille, and Chantecaille is definitely like one of my favorite brands. And this lip veil in Tamboti is my favorite lip formula and my favorite color. So that's what I have on my lips. This lip veil is it's just moisturizing and creamy and not you know, overly pigmented. I think it's just pigmented enough. It's easy to wear. It's so comfortable. It's like the exact opposite of that Tom Ford lipstick I was just talking about. I feel like as the day goes on, my lips feel more and more moisturized. They feel healthier. They just feel like the best versions of themselves. And I love it. And it's not like, you know, there's some lipsticks that I feel like feel very moisturizing, but for some reason when I take them off, my lips are peeling at the end of the day, or they don't feel like they were nourished very much. They just felt like maybe the lip product just wasn't especially drying. This lip formula is actually nourishing. I feel like I'm actually doing good for my lips when I put on this lip product. So that's the Chantecaille Lip Veil in Tambodi. Okay, my most used lip product I actually cannot find. And that for me is like a sign that it's the most used because it's in one of my handbags. I checked a couple. I have 2 of these and they're like lost in my handbag world somewhere. But it's the Chanel 804 lip gloss. I love this lip gloss. It is so good. If I put on like just a little bit of a deeper line, and I'll flash a picture of the lip gloss. If I put on just a little bit of a deeper lip liner to kind of like contour, and then I put this lip gloss all over, I'm telling you, people have asked me if I've gotten lip filler, which I've never done. And you know, if I've had something done, I always get asked that when I wear this particular lip gloss. And it's almost clear, but there's a little something to it. There's like just a little bit of like glisten. There's like a little bit of milkiness to it. It's just like the perfect lip gloss. And I swear it's somewhere around here. And I have 2 of them because I wanted one to be able to like sit at my vanity and one to be able to kind of travel in my bags, whatever handbag I'm using. But now I've lost both. So I'm gonna have to go out and get another one because I love it so much. And yeah, and it's just great. Like I said, by itself, with a lip liner, over another lipstick, with another lip gloss, like it's just, it's such a good lip gloss. So that's the Chanel 804. All right, next is most underrated. And I don't know if these are actually rated poorly, but for me, most underrated is kind of like the least talked about lip products. So that's how I'm considering this particular category. So I have actually 2, but one I kind of mentioned already, but that's the Surratt Lip Slick. Like I said before, it's just a great like moisturizing kind of lip product, and it has like, you know, just enough like pigment. It actually reminds me of the Chantecaille Lip Veil. It's probably just like the teensiest hair less moisturizing than the Chantecaille, but it feels great. It feels wonderful. And it comes in one of those like skinny sticks that I love to use. So that's one. And then the other one from Surratt that I wanted to mention are the prismatic lip products. And these are like sheer lipsticks, but they have like a tint to them. And then they have like this amazing like micro glitter to them. So this one is in the shade Café Societe. And, you know, by itself, they're beautiful because like the name says, they're very prismatic, but they're great as toppers as well. And this is just one example. And no one ever talks about these. They are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. The other product I wanted to mention are these Hourglass lip oils. And the original lip oil from Hourglass was just clear, had nothing, you know, had no tint or anything. And it was just comprised of like a gazillion different oils, and it was just very moisturizing for your lips, and it was, you know, wonderful product. Then they came out with ones that are tinted, and this is when I hopped onto that bandwagon, and these are amazing. But again, I never ever feel like I hear anyone talk about these. So I have it in the shade Icon, which is like their iconic red color. So this is what they look like. Actually, let me take the cap off. So they have this like interesting applicator. You press down here and then the product comes out of that little hole. So it definitely is a little bit messy, but it's great considering it's a lip oil. So here's Icon and here's Cameo. They're so wonderful on the lips, and I purchased these in New York, I believe, in the wintertime. And oh my God, they were so welcome because my lips were so chapped from the wind, and these were really, really nourishing. It was a new release at that point, and I was so glad to have like gotten my hands on them. But yeah, I don't ever feel like I hear anyone talk about these, and they're great. They're fantastic. Most nostalgic, old school beauty YouTuber lip product. So this one also was very difficult for me. I was like kind of digging through my lip collection and I was like old school beauty YouTuber, you know, kind of going back and trying to think like what was talked about back then. And I think, you know, the one brand that I kept, you know, kind of coming back to was MAC. And I think we can all agree MAC was so popular when beauty YouTube was getting started. Everyone had these huge collections. They have all these different finishes. The color range is like out of control. And so I have one MAC lipstick, and this is from a collaboration with Charlotte Olympia. And this is probably my favorite MAC collaboration. Well, one of my favorites, MAC collaboration, because I love the packaging and I do love Charlotte Olympia and her designs and stuff. And what I love so much is that it all came in this like lucite packaging, but there was this little like spider web design on all of them. And I love spiders and spider webs, especially in my artwork. I really love it. So anyway, this is like my most like OG YouTube. And this was actually like, I was trying to decide between this and the Tom Ford Casino, like what was my oldest lipstick. This could be older, but I think the Tom Ford Casino is a little bit older. So this is in the color Retro Rouge. It's a matte lipstick, so I never really wore it that much. It just kind of dried out my lips too much, but this was the color. I love the color. It's like one of those like dark burnt red colors. This is my pick for OG lip product. So next is the most disappointing, which is very similar to me to like the product not worth the hype. Anyway, so this was a huge disappointment to me. And for much the same reason as my most undeserving of its hype lip product, that Tom Ford Satin Matte. But these are the lipstick cashmeres from Clé de Peau. I feel like the formula is very similar to that Tom Ford. It glides on, it's like very heavy in silicones. It glides on, it's really pigmented, and it feels great when you put it on, and then it's just kind of sitting on top of your lips. And as the day goes on, and as it kind of like soaks into your lips, at least for me, they just start to feel really dry. And I also just wasn't the biggest fan of the color selection. So this was like the most neutral that I could find. This is in Sweet Song, but it's actually very pinky. It's not very nude. And yeah, can you see it has that kind of like silicone matte look to it? And then I have this red passion one, which is like a straight up red color. But yeah, I was really disappointed in this lipstick formula because one of my favorite lipsticks of all time is one of their, just their regular lipsticks in the color number 1, Bamboo. I love this lipstick. And this is like a nude color that I was kind of looking for. Let me swatch it next to that Sweet Song. So that color I loved. Can you see how that Sweet Song is like just a little bit too pink? Anyway, this formula is amazing, absolutely amazing. So I was really excited for this cashmere lipstick formula, and it just wasn't for me. So that for me was the most disappointing. All right, the most unique lipsticks I have in my collection are these Femme de Poppy lipsticks. And I did a whole video dedicated to these when these first came out. And this line was started by Poppy King. And I actually had like the great pleasure of meeting her. She was in LA. I drove out to LA. We had this like lovely dinner together. And she is just this just fabulous person. Anyways, she's the one that started Lipstick Queen, and she left that company. She started her own, and these were sold exclusively at Barney's. And now that Barney's isn't around, I'm hoping we'll see her lipsticks pop up elsewhere. But she came out with 3 colors to start with, and the formula of these lipsticks are just so unique. So here's the color Eve. And do you see how there's like little bits of like glitter in there? And when you first apply it, you almost can't even see all the glittery bits that you see in the bullet. It was kind of like, I remember putting it on thinking, oh, what happened? But then when you like smush your lips together, hold on, let me rub it. The glitter kind of comes out. Do you see it now? Like how much more like glittery and shiny and metallic it is. It's so cool. And these lipsticks kind of have this like powder type formula to them, but they're not drying, and they're just the most unique formula I've ever come across. That is Eve. And then let me just show you another one. This one is Emperor's Nude. So we've got this great kind of like peachy nude color. And then when you like smush your lips together, this like gold sheen comes out. Oh my God, they're so cool. Like I keep saying, I really hope to see them pop up elsewhere because they're really cool. All right, and last but not least, what is my best smelling lip product? Now, I'm someone that really prefers just no fragrance. I want to leave it to whatever, perfume I decide to put on that day. I don't really need a lot of fragrance in all of my things. But if I had to pick one, it would be these Dear Dahlia lip glosses. So they smell like either rosemary or thyme. So they smell like herbs. They don't smell like vanilla cupcake, birthday cake, or whatever, which is actually my least favorite. It's fine. I mean, it smells good. It makes me very hungry. But again, I'd rather they not smell like anything. I don't mind, a light kind of fruity scent. If it has to be scented something, I like that. But this is just so different, yet it smells spa-like. It smells really clean. I love that like herbal scent. It just smells very fresh. I really like it. I really, really enjoy it. And these lip glosses are super cute and really nice too on top of it all. So that is my best smelling lip product. And that is it. Whew, I feel like I've been talking for a really long time. A big thank you to Jessica Braun for creating this video. A huge thank you to Linda of Glitter Fallout for collabing with me. Thank you so, so much. Again, guys, check out her video. I will leave a link to it down below in my description box. And that is it. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.